Holly Adelman.
David Herring.
Paul Roberts, Angelique Fabian, and Joe Rosario are absent, but we have quorum so we can proceed. Also present are Alex Cameron, Planning Director, Maria Klein, Senior Planner, and Joanne Dawson, an Administrative Assistant. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of our last meeting. All the commissioners have been provided with copies of draft minutes. Does any commissioner have any changes to suggest?
None.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
I second motion.
Thank you. Those opposed? The minutes are approved. Now may I have a motion to enter the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Say nay. We are now in a public hearing. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. That means that anyone desiring to testify must be sworn in, and the commission is required to consider only facts presented in this hearing. The proceedings are video recorded. I asked the commissioners if they have visited any of the sites on our docket today and whether they have had any ex parte communications with respect to any of the cases we are considering.
Visited all sites, no ex parte communication.
Visited all sites, no ex parte communication.
Visited all sites, no ex parte communication.
Visited all, had a brief conversation with the contractor, I believe, at the Page Road residence. Nothing of specific nature about the review.
In each case that the commission will hear this afternoon, the staff will first present a summary of the application, the staff's evaluation of the extent to which the application complies with the commission's standards, for which an application or raises issues that require the further information, the staff's comments on the application, and where appropriate, the staff's recommendations for commission action. The application and the supporting documents, as well as the staff's detailed report, will be entered into the record. Commissioners will then have an opportunity to question the staff about the report and testimony. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representatives will have an opportunity to provide additional information supporting the application and to address the questions or issues identified in staff testimony. The commissioners will then have an opportunity to question the applicant witnesses. After the application presentation, if any members of the public wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at that time and identify yourself. I will swear you in and give you the opportunity to present any reasons why you believe that the application should be granted or denied. Please remember, the commission is interested in only facts that will help us decide whether a proposed work would be congruous with the special character of the Pinehurst Historic District. As chair, I have the right to exclude testimony that isn't relevant to the subject, but I am not required to do so. The commissioners will then have an opportunity to question you about your testimony. If the applicant or staff wishes to respond to your testimony, I will permit them to do so. I will now swear in members of staff. Will the staff members who may give evidence in this proceedings please stand, raise your right hand, and state your name for the record.
Maria Klein.
Alex Cameron.
Do you swear to affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to all the cases on the docket today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
All right, please present your first case.
All right, so that honor will go to me. The purpose of this public hearing here is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness, or COA, in the Pinehurst Historic District for the construction of a new single-family home located at 275 Magnolia Road. The property is further identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 000-30596. The property owner of record is Magnolia Properties Pinehurst LLC, and the applicant is Mr. Calvin Riddle. Again, this request is for a new single-family home, approximately a little over 2,400 square feet heated, with a detached garage. The home does include features of a covered front porch, rear screen porch, and of course associated site features such as driveways and walkways. This is considered to be major work because it is new construction or additions not considered to be minor work per the Historic District standards. As all public hearings are required to be, this one was noticed in accordance with North Carolina General Statutes and the Pinehurst Development Ordinance. Subject property hatched here in the center, and the adjacent mailings being provided to the owners immediately adjacent to and across from the right-of-way. Magnolia Road right here, and for point of location, the Pinehurst Brewery and the water tank properties are just across Magnolia Road. This is a current vacant lot. The site plan provided by the applicant here, again, Magnolia Road running north-south. This lot is in the middle of 3 vacant lots, and you can see the proposed home footprint, the detached garage, and the driveway access. Here are the elevations that were provided by the applicant for the primary dwelling there. You have the front elevation, left elevation, right elevation, and the rear elevation. These are recently provided elevations from the applicant as of this afternoon of the detached garage. Included in the packet for the meeting agenda material, there was only a front elevation provided, so I did get updated elevations from the applicant today. And at the conclusion of this presentation, I will ask for a named exhibit, Exhibit A 2.5.1, to be included into the agenda packet material as well and be part of the record. The elevations are labeled front, rear, right, and left. Here is a provided landscape plan. I mentioned that the existing lot is vacant. There are no real significantly sized trees or mature vegetation on the lot. It's a lot of sort of undergrowth, but this is the proposed landscape plan to meet all the Pinehurst Development Ordinance's landscape standards, including perimeter plantings and foundation plantings as shown on the landscape plan. And this is the color and material board that was supplied by the applicant. All the proposed materials are labeled and the colors are labeled. And to conclude with staff comments, the applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The commission will need to, after hearing from additional information or additional testimony exhibits, to determine if the new construction is congruous with the special character of the Pinehurst Historic District and whether or not it meets the appropriate historic district standards. So again, at this time, I would like to formally enter this presentation, the applicant's materials, staff report, and again, the addition of, and I'm going to pull this up for record, Exhibit A 2.5.1 is labeled by staff, which are the detached garage elevations.
Without objection, the materials referred to by staff are admitted into record. Do commissioners have any questions?
I do. Just to be clear, there are no trees that fall under our purview on the site existing?
You have to give me a second to look at the site plan to see if any of those hit that diameter breast height threshold.
Yeah,
There may be a couple on there, but I am confident in speaking that there are not many.
Yeah, I looked at that, couldn't find any information about the trees that were there on the plan that shows trees, but they're big symbols, so it suggested to me that there might be as many as 3 significantly sized trees, but there's no enumeration of which ones they plan to remove, even though they say they are removing trees.
Sure, and in the meantime, while I pull up the site plan to look a little bit closer and to zoom in, the applicant may have additional information on that topic he can provide for you.
Thank you. We will now hear from the applicant. Is the applicant or their representatives present? Yes. Please come forward to the standing microphone. Please state your name, spell your last name for the record, and state your relationship to the property.
My name is Furman Calvin Riddle, Jr. I'm the owner, and that's my relationship.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to the application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You've been sworn in. If there is anything in the presentation by staff that you disagree with or would like to revise or clarify, or anything that you would like to add in support of the application, this is your opportunity to do so.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. The only thing, Alex, I think he stated this is the middle of 3 lots, is that correct? It's not, it's the end, it's the closest one to the village. The 3 lots that we have are 275, 285, and 295 Magnolia Road.
Could I interrupt briefly? The sign that announces this hearing is on the correct lot, is that
That
right?
is correct, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You did look at the correct lot, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm just going to make just kind of a brief overview, if I can, if that's appropriate, and then I'll try to address Mr. Herring's comment about the trees. But we started this process back in June and met with Alex Cameron and some of his staff members and got your design criteria and went through that, and we're very careful in making sure that what we designed to go on there and for us to build for there was congruent to everything being done in the village and have been done in the village. Spent a lot of time walking the village, primarily because we're doing 3 of them. This is just the first of 3 that we're submitting. Totally 3 different plans. I'm not doing 3 of the same, so one, each of the same. We feel like the scale is appropriate. We feel like the mass and the impact on the surrounding properties is appropriate. We feel that we're congruous in size, proportion, style. The roof line, we tried to be very simple with that, even though we do have some massing going on. The garage, we did a detached garage on this property so that the garage doors would not face the front. They are on the rear, and the garage is actually turned parallel with the back of the house so that the garage doors really will not be seen. And there's a drive that will go around to the back. A couple of things that we wanted to pay a close attention to were the windows. We're doing a 2/2 side light. We are doing the simulated divided glass, so it'll truly read like a divided glass window. The windows are not vinyl, but they're PVC. It's a newer product that's come out that allows us as the builder to actually paint that window. It looks like a wood window. It's better than wood. It's rot resistant, et cetera. It does allow us to paint that. The shutters, we're putting shutters on windows where appropriate. We're also putting shutters at the front door that are appropriate in size, width to match the width of the window. We did add dog ears to that, and we'll put hinges on those. I think that the only other thing, and I'm still working with Mike Ackby on this. In fact, we just played phone tag this week a couple of times in the driveway itself, and we'll address that as it ties into the existing Magnolia Road. I don't know if that's something this group deals with, but Mike will be dealing with it, and we'll get that. There is also a detail that I've noticed. I haven't seen it anywhere in writing. I'm sure it exists, but there is a detail at the brick sidewalk where a driveway crosses that, where that brick is encased, if you will, or bordered by a concrete with brick inlay that ties in with the brick wall. We will certainly be doing that as well. I'm going to try to address these trees, there are 3 large trees on the property. One is dead. I don't count that as something we have to really concern ourselves with. There is one that's behind a kind of a stone wall that's owned by the village. It's in the right-of-way. That one we're going to try our darndest to save, even though I can tell you I've been doing this for most people would say too long. I would say I've been doing it for about 46 years, and I've never seen a lot this covered up with wisteria. I mean, the wisteria is as big as my leg, and it's just, I mean, the skid steer would actually hit it, and it would kick the skid steer up, and it wouldn't even budge it. So I mentioned that in your concern of that one tree. It's a large, I don't even know if he identifies it Q1. Well, he says it's a longleaf pine. I thought there was also another large tree there that's R1. No, I'm sorry. He's adding that. So where is the? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Sorry for the confusion. There is a hardwood that's just behind the stone wall. The hardwood to the right of the lot, as you're standing on Magnolia Road looking at, that hardwood is deceased. In our clearing, there really is no pines. There might be a few little small hardwoods that are in the back that will come out as we do our cut into that hillside. But I think we're putting more than adequate planting and trees back in place. But the point of me bringing up the deal on the wisteria is it has done so much damage to those trees on all 3 lots. I mean, we had to go in and cut the lot lines and cut a swath through there because the surveyor couldn't even walk in on the property and try to do our topo. So I think all the materials that we're using, they're all conform to the standards. I'll be happy to answer any questions about those if anybody has any. We are going to do on the front elevation exterior, we are going to do a hardy board product, cement board product that simulates, looks like. I think they do a very good job of it, of cedar shakes. It will be a straight edge product. We really, copy is probably a little bit of a bad term to use, but there are several homes on Short and Fields Road that all have that kind of similar look, and we love that, and we like the big dormer across the front, which we did, and then the balance of the home is lap siding, and so. As I've already talked about, the shutters and the dog ears and the hinges and front door it's kind of a 3/4 glass with simulated divide light in it, 2/2. I think we gave the board a color for the front door, but we might not have. Normally, I don't think we did. Normally that will come in wood and we'll stain that. If we have a buyer that wants to paint it, then I guess we'll go through whatever process we do there. But, anybody got any questions or concerns or advice, guidance? We're up for all that. Oh, okay,
Fine.
okay, thank you.
Few questions. Back to the trees.
Yes, sir.
To be sure I'm clear. Looking at your exhibit that's up on the board right now,
Right.
A2.1, I think it is.
Okay.
The three big trees, there's one that's engaging the corner of the new garage.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
there.
where, oh, back there, where you're pointing, okay.
I presume that one's toast.
That's toast.
There's another one on the adjacent wall of the garage, a couple feet off the garage.
Pretty much, also, as you can see, if you'll take that arrow and go towards you a little bit, that actually is a retaining wall that we're putting in right there that runs behind the back of the garage over to there. And that retaining wall, everything from that retaining wall to the street in existing, other than the large hardwood at the very front,
Front right corner.
right there, yes, sir. Those other hardwoods are, I mean, the caliper on those, I'm surprised they are even on there. I don't think they're much more than 4 or 5 inches, but,
Okay, so the big one on the corner of the lot where the arrow is right now,
yes, sir.
that's the one you're going to try to save?
That's what we're gonna try to save. It is covered in wisteria.
Okay, how about the one by the driveway?
One by the driveway is dead,
That one's dead.
yes, sir.
So
That's what I've been told.
I
So,
understand.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
move on to the front door. I've never seen this before, and I may be misreading it. It looks like there are 2 closed shutters flanking the door.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? They look like shutters, but
They
they're
are
not.
shutters
They are.
on each side of the door.
Is there glass behind them?
No,
I see.
no. They're for the door itself.
Oh, for the door.
Yes, sir.
Never seen that. That's cool. And they actually operate.
Yes, sir.
Even better.
And then, since we did the double windows on the front, I didn't think it was appropriate to do shutters there, but we did do shutters on each wing, on each side.
So it's really only 2 windows that have shutters plus the front door.
That is correct, yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
If there is any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at this time and identify yourself. We can consider this case closed and we can deliberate. Does anybody have anything they want to say?
Nothing for me.
Yep.
Tremendous detail. I appreciate the amount of
Well done.
effort put in.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank
Oh,
you.
well, one comment before we get too far, sorry. You mentioned that if you have a buyer who wants to paint the house, I presume that means who wants to paint the house colors other than what you're proposing.
Well, my statement was actually referring to the front door.
Oh, front door only?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes. Yes, sir.
I'm good.
Thank you.
All right, I'll take it. All right, I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness, COA 2025-00153, and find the proposed major work at 275 Magnolia Road is consistent with historic district standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
You meant congruous, right? I thought I heard you say incongruous, but I imagine.
Standards and is deemed congruous with the
Congruous.
Pinehurst District.
Okay.
Apologies if I said
Bad,
it right.
bad ears.
Congruous, yes, congruous.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ready for the next case?
Ready, all right. All right, this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for the construction of an addition and a few minor work items not approved by the village planner at the property addressed as 120 Medlin Road, further identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 2003038. The property owner of record is Sean and Grace Streisbaugh, and the applicant is Latitude Builders LLC. Again, requests for small additions, 134 square feet in the rear yard, and a few minor work items not approved by the village planner. So the applicant here is proposing to construct an addition on this is the northeast side of the principal dwelling in the rear yard. They have indicated that all materials, including the siding, roofing, windows, and colors, will match the existing structure. And again, it's considered major work because it's an addition and a few items not approved by the village planner, which include the addition of a generator and, I'm losing sight of the other item.
Parking?
Yeah, the driveway addition. So again, just to have everything under one application, we advise the applicant to include it all under the major COA. But those items could be addressed and approved as a separate minor COA if requested. Again, this public hearing was noticed in accordance with North Carolina General Statutes and the Development Ordinance of Pinehurst. Again, kind of going back and getting a reference, here's the subject property. This is Medlin Road. This is Rattlesnake Trail. Highway 211 is just off to the north and east. The Village Park property is right here. Here are the some snips of the exhibits that were presented by the applicant. Here's the overall site plan, and here's a more zoomed-in, detailed view. Here's where the proposed addition is located in the rear of the property. Here's where the generator is proposed to be located, and here's where the addition of the pavers off the driveway. And here again, you can kind of see the small addition area highlighted on the elevations. All materials again in colors to match. And there are the materials and colors. And to conclude with staff comments, the applicant has submitted an application and provided additional detail and documentation to satisfy the burden of proof. The role of this commission will be to determine if this proposal is congruous with the special character of the historic district and whether or not it meets the historic district standards. Again, the driveway addition and new generator could be considered and are considered minor work items which could be approved by the village planner. So formally at this moment, I would like to request that the staff report with any attachments, exhibits, this presentation, and all the information that the applicant has provided be entered into the record.
Without objection, the materials referred to by staff have been admitted into record. Do commissioners have any questions for staff? Thank you. We will now hear from the applicant. Is the applicant or their representatives present? Please come forward to the standing microphone. Please state your name, spell your last name for the record, and state your relationship to the project.
Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Cook. Last name is spelled C-O-O-K. Sorry, that's loud. The Driesballs are a second client of mine for their father, and we'll be building their home.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to the application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You have been sworn in. If there is anything in the presentation by staff that you disagree with or would like to revise or clarify, or anything that you would like to add in support of the application, this is your opportunity to do so.
I have no comments.
Commissioners have any questions for staff, for the witness?
I have a curiosity question. Why pavers instead of concrete for the driveway?
We're trying to meet the impervious soil calculations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Which we are going to be putting into the minor work and doing that with Kelly through zoning.
Yep. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Windows. Can you tell me a little bit about your windows?
Yes, sir. So there's 2 existing windows in the master bedroom currently. We're taking those out and replacing them as we do the addition on the back.
What kind of windows are they? In particular, the Muntons? Are they true divided light?
They're existing windows.
Or you're just moving them?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay,
There's 2
thank you.
existing windows that we're moving.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If there is Is any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at this time and identify yourself. No more questions? Well, I'll consider the record in this case closed, and we can deliberate. Does anybody have anything?
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness COA 2025-00158 and find the proposed major work at 120 Medlin Road is consistent with Historic District standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Case.
Ready?
Eddie.
All right. The purpose of our next public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for the addition of a patio that will be located in the rear yard, new construction or addition that is not considered minor work, and the installation of an in-ground swimming pool at 15 Page Road. The property is identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 000-22524. The property owner is David Osborne and Melissa Otero Cruz, and the applicant is Alyssa Sorensen. So the request is to install an in-ground swimming pool spa in the rear yard. It would be surrounded by a brick patio extension. And they are also proposing to do a 15 by 20-foot roof overhang over an existing patio. The roofing on the overhang will be black metal to match the existing roof. And it is major work requiring your review because it is changes to roof lines, installation of an in-ground swimming pool, and minor works not approved by the village planner. And the public hearing was noticed in accordance with North Carolina General Statutes and the PDO. And you can see the subject property hashed out in the center here with the properties outlined in red being the ones that were notified. So here you have a rendering of the house that shows the new patio overhang extension and the new patio with the in-ground swimming pool spa. And the brick will match that patio that's already there, and the roof on the overhang will be the black metal. Examples of the materials, the brick pavers they'll be using, and the fiberglass pool. And they'll be using wood for the overhang, and the metal will be like this example here. The applicant did submit an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The patio extension is considered minor work. It does meet the standards and could be approved by staff. You will need to determine if the extension of the roof line, the installation of the in-ground swimming pool, spa, and if the patio are congruous with the historic districts and if they meet the standards. And I'd like to submit into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, and the application and applicant's materials and exhibits.
Without objection, the materials referred to by staff are admitted into record. Do the commissioners have any questions for staff? Thank you. We will now hear from the applicant.
Hello.
State your name, spell your last name for the record, and state your relationship to the property.
Yes, my name is Alyssa Sorensen. Last name is spelled S-O-R-E-N-S-O-N. I am representing Soaring Sun LLC, who is the general contractor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Sworn in. If there is anything in the presentation by staff that you disagree with or you would like to revise or clarify, or anything that you would like to add in support of the application, this is your opportunity to do so.
The one clarification that I'd like to make is that it is a 7x8 hot tub. So sounding like a swimming pool, it sounds very big, but it is not a swimming pool. It is a small 7x8 hot tub.
Commissioners have any questions?
Couple questions.
Certainly.
It's not our duty to comment on the code, but it is our duty to comment on fences. In this particular case, your pool or hot tub will require a fence.
There is an existing fence on the property.
Oh, it goes all the way around the property?
Yes, sir.
Already. Great. The metal roof in the photograph is just an example of the type of roof, right?
Exactly.
That's all I got.
If there is any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at this time and identify yourself. Okay, nobody. The record in this case is closed and the commissioners can deliberate now.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness and find the proposed major work at 15 Page Road is consistent with Historic District standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the material submitted, and the findings of fact.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Congratulations. On to the next case. Moving along.
Within the Pinehurst Historic District for the removal of 3 trees that are 12 inches or above in diameter at breast height at 170 Everett Road. The property is identified as Moore County Parcel ID number 000-19490. The property owners are Lee and Rebecca Pittman, and the applicant is Lee Pittman. So the applicant is proposing to remove 3 trees in the front yard that are at least 12 inches or greater in diameter at breast height. And that requires major work because it is trees 12 inches or greater in diameter at breast height along a street side facing the property that are not in the right-of-way. The public hearing was noticed in accordance with North Carolina general statutes and the PDO. The subject property is hashed out with the properties that were notified outlined in red. And here is a site plan, so you can see the front of the house and the little island in the center of the circular drive where the 3 trees are located in the front yard. And here is a picture of those trees. The applicant submitted an application and provided documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. You will need to determine if the removal of the trees is congruous with the historic districts and if it meets the standards. And I'd like to enter into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, the application, and the applicant's materials and exhibits.
Without objection, the materials referred to by staff are admitted into record. Do the commissioners have any questions for staff? Thank you. We will now hear from the applicant. Is the applicant or their representatives present? Please come forward standing at the microphone, please state your name, spell your last name for the record, and state your relationship to the property.
Lee Pittman, I'm the owner. Pittman is my last name.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the whole truth? Nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You've been sworn in. If there is anything in presentation by the staff that you disagree with or would like to revise or clarify, or anything that you would like to add in support of the application.
I'll bring you a couple handouts.
Yeah, same thing. Just
They need to be entered in as, hey, Joe. Yes? Just make sure they're entered in as exhibits.
Let's enter them as Exhibit A-3. Yes.
Well, I was just going to let you know, I've lived in the village for over 20 years, but we built this particular house in 2018. We did save as many of the mature trees as we possibly could when we built the house. Since we built the house, I just wanted to illustrate in those drawings that what we've added, because we're not just here to cut down just reckless and cut down a bunch of trees, but we added that 25-foot maple. We've added the mature ligustrums across the side yard and the backyard that were probably 6 to 8 feet when we added those about 3 years ago. And then we added the dogwoods in the front yard that were approximately 10 feet tall, 3 of those in the center island. And just wanted to point those additional landscaping items out to you guys. The other picture is just my son's car, and you can see where we lost a limb about 6 weeks ago that came down. I've had one limb last year that fell in my Tahoe, punctured the roof, and smashed out the back glass in the sunroof. Clark Collision Center fixed that. It's just kind of, I feel like it's just kind of time to, if we could get those removed, would be great. That's basically it, just those 3 items.
So just to confirm, they are healthy trees. They're not,
Two out of the 3, I think, are healthy. One has got a damaged bottom to it. I'm a little bit concerned about, but it's still alive. But it's getting a recessed hole in the middle of it. But the other 2 are the ones. Well, they're all right there on the driveway, so they've just kind of been creating a little havoc for us.
thank you.
Question.
if there's any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward to do so at this time. No other questions? All right. The record in this case is considered closed, and it's time for the commissioners to deliberate.
Yeah, one thing I noticed when I went out there is those 3 trees are essentially all the canopy there is in the front yard. I think the dogwoods would go a long way in remediating the loss of the canopy, which is way the heck up there. There's also a power line right in front of them. It wouldn't surprise me eventually if they'll be cutting limbs off your trees because of the power line. Unfortunately, the standards address not reducing the canopy. In this case, that's essentially all the canopy. On the other hand, it's so far up that the dogwood canopy eventually, if not now, sometime in the future will be much more apparent at eye level. The new maple that you planted on the side of the property there really doesn't figure in. It's so far over. So I'm kind of torn between sticking by the standards and relying on the health and beauty of the dogwoods.
Yeah, I fall along the same lines. All right, it's the first thing you notice when you drive up. I genuinely appreciate the additional things that have been planted, for sure, and recognize what's been invested in the village on this property, 100%, but it comes down to a clear, the canopy's the question. So I'm torn. I'm with David. I'm a bit torn, to be frank.
Oh, and while there's just some dead air, I would take the moment to remind the commission that the commission does have the ability to issue certificates of appropriateness with conditions. I think there've been some very important site considerations that have been mentioned. You know, we deal with it a lot in the office, where we have very prescribed planting standards, and there are, you know, features such as utilities, whether overhead or underground, and those conflicts, you know, they are true conflicts, and a lot of cases, smaller, more understory type trees are usually permitted underneath overhead lines, such as dogwoods. There's just usually less potential than, you know, versus a pine tree growing taller vertical. So, you know, if, you know, trying to preserve that front canopy, if, you know, the commission would consider, you know, any additional planting that would, you know, help reestablish that canopy, and still meet the needs and protect, you know, what the historic standards intent are trying to. That, just wanted to remind the commission, that is something you do have as a tool in your toolbox.
I think there's a lot of driveway. So I'm looking at the site plan, looking for where we might find a place to plant some new longleaf pines that are not someday going to be the same danger to cars as the ones that you currently have. There's a pocket of space at the top left of or top right of the driveway, but it's not right smack in the middle where these trees are. I think the maple helps a lot. The 3 dogwoods help a lot. You know, you could add a 4th dogwood. That would help. Dogwoods are slow growing. It'll be a while before they become as prominent as the trees you have.
We have all the hollies and the magnolias along the frontage of the property as well.
Now there is one magnolia that doesn't look so great. It's
That's due to the power company.
yeah, problem.
For me, there's a lot of care. When you go by that, you do a lot of great care to your yard.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah. I'd be inclined to approve the removal of the 3, with the suggestion that they add a 4th dogwood. If there's one that's sick enough, and you can come back and with something more positive that explains to us the sick one's truly sick, that would be helpful.
I mean, it's just, it's got a hole in the cavity, but I can't tell you when it's gonna
Yeah.
start.
I would just remind you also that you do have the ability to approve a COA that is inconsistent with the standards, as long as it's congruous with the historic district.
Let me try a motion. Gotta find the right one. This is Everett, right? Yeah, Everett. I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness and find the proposed major work at 15 Page Road is inconsistent or is not consistent with the
Nope,
historic.
wrong property, not Page Road. The bottom of page 2, the 170 Everett Road.
You don't want to trade houses, do you?
Not today.
Try number 2. I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve, with conditions, a certificate of appropriateness and find the proposed major work at 170 Everett Road is not consistent with the Historic District standards, but is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, the findings of fact, and the conditions. The condition would be that a 4th dogwood be added.
Second.
In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Can I ask you a question? Is there a certain spot we have agreed to for the forked dogwood, or just?
Leave that to your best judgment. Keep in mind what we're trying to do is to replace that central canopy.
Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
We need a point of order. What was the vote, please?
Was 3 yeas and 1 nay.
Then
COA is not issued.
you need the majority, which would be 4, since there's only 4 of you. All 4 of you have to,
So the motion did not, in the affirmative, did not issue the COA.
You want to speak to the convince us that nay is the right thing?
I just don't think dogwoods provide the same Pinehurst feeling as longleaf pines when it comes to canopy. I mean, yes, they will grow, for sure they will grow, but they won't grow to be a 50-foot tall, beautiful longleaf pine that Pinehurst is known for.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
was I mean, the thing I guess that would tip me, I mean, I agree that there is a power line, but if maintained, I don't foresee the power lines going up higher and the tree limbs are above. So the potential would be a tree limb breaks off and takes out a power line, but it's not necessarily going to grow into, from my understanding. When I went by, when I visited, I just think it would change. It's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful property. You've taken phenomenal care of it. But it would change the look drastically. I mean, they're mature trees. They're beautiful longleaf pines. I just don't see it being congruous.
I agree.
Sorry. That's where my mind is at.
What about the one that's got the hole in the trunk?
I did not look close enough to see how large of a hole that was. I guess my question would be if an arborist looked at it and said, in a professional opinion, which I am not an arborist, and said, hey, this tree is potentially detrimental, dangerous, hazardous to the space.
Which tree is that?
The one on the far left, if you're facing the house.
Well, I have to say I agree. I agree with everything you've said. You know, when I pulled up on the house side of the curb, or the curb on the house side of the street. I had to get out of my car and look way up to see the canopy. It is so far up there. And it's just 3 trees. It's the only trees, but it's just 3 trees. And beyond that, over the rest of the front yard, there's nothing.
Well, we have 3 oak trees on the left. We have 2 big pine trees in the back.
Yeah, but that.
They border between my house and the Parsons, and they're mature oak trees.
Yeah, that edge looks good.
They got big canopies.
Yeah.
All the way down the left side and the right side.
Try a motion?
So apologies. From a process, we've closed open deliberation. We've closed comments from the public. Was this portion deliberation between us? I
Yeah,
apologize if I
yeah,
missed
my
that.
motion failed. We're ready to either debate more or
Yeah,
make a
so
motion.
if we want to
So for
enter
the-
more evidence or testimony into the record, we'd have to open the evidentiary portion of the hearing back open and
Yep.
receive additional testimony
Yep,
from Mr. Pittman.
Understood.
Yep.
For the record, which I want to make sure this is very clear, because this has happened in the past. It is our responsibility and not yelling at you all you're here, it is our responsibility as the Historic Preservation Commission to have enough commissioners and seats that this doesn't happen where we have a split vote or a quorum that isn't a quorum because we have not had enough people show up. So I want to publicly recognize this is a problem on us. This is not you bringing something in. Just have to say that. This has happened in the past, and it's really unacceptable. So yes, if we are ready for another motion, I will make a motion. I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve with conditions a certificate of appropriateness, COA 2025-00163, and find the proposed major work at 170 Everett Road is not consistent with historic district standards, but is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Plant more trees.
Next case.
All right. Our last public hearing of the evening is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for modifications to the elevations for approved COA 2025-00105 at 4 Carolina Vista. The property is identified as Moore County parcel ID number 000-25800. The property owner and applicant is Pinehurst LLC. The applicant is asking to add a set of clear story windows on the north elevation, gable windows on the north and east elevations, and a half-round window on the west elevation. And it is major work because it is eliminating or adding windows and/or doors. The public hearing was noticed in accordance with the PDO and North Carolina general statutes, and you can see the subject property in the hashed-out area with the adjoining or adjacent properties that were notified outlined in red. So here are the elevations. The top elevation is the original approved elevation, and the bottom one here on the north elevation is where they'd be adding the clear story windows along with the gabled window. On the west elevation, here's the existing approved elevation, and the west elevation with the new change of the half window is right there. East elevations, this is the approved, and this is the gable window that they're adding, along with the roof line change here for the clear story windows. And on the south elevation, they're not changing anything, they're just pointing out that they are changing the doors that were approved in the original COA. So the applicant submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. You will need to determine if the changes to the elevations are congruous with the historic district and if they meet the historic district standards. And I'd like to enter into the record the staff report with attachments and exhibits, this presentation, the application, and the applicant's materials and exhibits.
Without objection, the materials referred to by staff are admitted into record. Do the commissioners have any questions for staff? Thank you. We will now hear from the applicant. Is the applicant or the representatives present? please come forward, standing in the microphone. Please state your name, spell your last name for the record, and state your relationship to the property.
The name is Calvin, that is hot. Calvin Berkeley, B as in boy, U-R-K-L-E-Y, and relationship to the property is a project manager for the resort.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to and affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You've been sworn in. If there is anything in the presentation by staff that you disagree with or would like to revise or clarify, or anything that you would like to add in support of the application, this is your opportunity to do so.
So just to add into support of the application, you know, the last public hearing was a few more people were here, and we really took to heart some of the comments that were made in terms of the building, and we went back and took a look and came up with these changes. They were good points, and we wanted to, you know, felt that was the right thing to do.
Comment. There are a lot of half-round windows. Some or most are dormers, some are on the ends of gables. There's enough repetition of those that it begins to be a part of the language of your building. The two new ones that have been added, the sort of trapezoid-shaped windows, they seem a little out of place. They don't seem to fit the rest of the palette of materials and windows and shapes and so on. Curious if you considered putting in a large half-round window in lieu of the trapezoids.
Comment on that?
I'm not here to redesign, just a thought.
So yeah, it would be something we would consider for sure.
If you decide otherwise, so be it. Do they open into the space below?
So just, sorry, if we're going to have the additional person comment, we just need to make sure you're sworn in so that we get it on the record, sir.
Jeff Moore with Stogner Architecture.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to the application shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, so those,
Oh, is there anything that you,
I mean, we can look at that, but,
Yeah, that's all I can ask.
yeah,
Yeah, can't require
what
it.
you're looking at are those small half-round vents. I mean, I even contemplated replacing those with, you know, a triangular. So,
I don't know, I like your half-round dormers. Okay.
at
Tell me.
north elevation, how long is that?
long building.
I know, it's,
Yeah. I mean, the, going backwards on the, I guess that's the north elevation. I think that's 72 feet long.
None for me, thank you.
if there's any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to this application, please come forward at this time and identify yourself. I'll consider the record in this case closed so the commissioners can deliberate. Does anybody have anything they want to say?
Nothing for me, thank you.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness C08-2025-00155 and find the proposed major work at 4 Carolina Vista is consistent with Historic District standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the materials submitted, and the findings of fact.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Congratulations. That concludes the public hearing. May I have a motion to close the public hearing and return to regular commission meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes. We are now in a regular meeting. This is a public meeting, and you are all welcome to stay and observe, but only members of the commission and its staff may speak. You have been provided with a copy of the minor and staff and approvals. Is there any other business?
Not business. I just want to say, sorry, I got a little emotional. The staff does a phenomenal job every single time, making sure everything is so well put together, and I genuinely appreciate it. Just wanted to clarify. Not angry at anyone who's sitting here. It just, thank you. That's all I have.
Thanks for speaking up.
Next regular meeting is,
January 22nd.
January
Next year.
22nd, 2026.
may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Meeting adjourned.